Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, and I want to invite you to my first ever public book signing. I'll be doing a special reading, question and answer session, and a signing of my new book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness on Thursday, March 20th at Visible Voice Books, located at 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I'll have a limited supply of Little Victories on hand to sign. I'll be reading selections from Little Victories, as well as telling stories and reading some material that was left out of Little Victories. I'll end with a Q&A session that will be a no-holds-barred affair. The signing will be from 7 to 9 p.m. at Visible Voice Books, 1023 Kenilworth Road, Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. Come out, have some fun, and be a part of a rare appearance from me, Chris Aiken.
All right, well, getting back to this publicist in this KXM.
Yes.
We did a review of the KXM, at least one song. We let the fans listen to the song, and we basically commented on it.
Yep.
And apparently, at least what you're being told is that it actually got back to the band.
Yes, the band was not thrilled.
The band actually listened to our segment.
Yep.
So who do you think heard it? Do you think it was Doug Pinnick or George Lynch? Or
I got to think Pinnick.
You think it was Pinnick?
I can't imagine Lynch listening to anything online. And I can't imagine Ray Luzier listening to anything online. But Pinnick is active online.
Sure.
So my hunch has to be Pinnick.
Okay.
Yeah, I got an email. I got an email this week that says, here, I'll read the email.
All right.
This is from their publicist. I just got the clip of you guys talking about KXM. I always appreciate your support, but that was brutal.
That was brutal, huh?
That's all it said.
All right.
So we went back and forth and had a conversation,
sure.
and I found that they were not real happy.
All right.
How funny is that, dude? Every time. It's like people, it's funny because the fans generally love when we fucking roast something.
Sure.
And I don't think we do it on purpose.
No, we just basically give our honest opinion. Here, let me give you a prime example about something that we thought we were going to hate, but we ended up liking.
Yeah.
Tracy Gunn's League of Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Neither one of us heard it. We saw the name. It came across on the file transfer from the publicist. We thought, right. Oh, this is going to be garbage.
Right.
And we listened to it, and we were both surprisingly like, wow, this is good.
Yeah, it was really good.
So at first, just by the name of alone, we thought it was going to be a piece of garbage.
Right.
And we listened to it for the first time here on the show together. Neither one of us had heard it.
Right.
And we both said, damn, this is pretty good.
Right. Well, we always try to none of it, look, as much as I don't like Doug Pinnick's music, I have no, and I think I said this last week, no problem with him. Nice guy.
Sure.
Nice guy. The guys in King's X have always been nice.
Another example of something we thought was going to suck, and we were both like amazed.
Yeah.
The new Accept.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, didn't I even have to apologize to the band?
Yeah, because we thought it was going to be garbage.
Yeah.
And we were just like, holy shit, this thing just kicks you in the face.
Yep, it was really good.
So with Mark Tornillo, is that his name?
Yeah, Tornillo, something like that.
Tornillo, formerly of TT Quick, taking Udo's place in Accept. We had zero expectation that would be any good.
Right, and it turned out to be really good.
Yeah, so there's a prime example of something that we thought just from perception only, we thought it was going to suck or we were going to hate it or whatever, and it turned out that we absolutely were stunned and loved it.
Yeah.
Same thing with KXM. Didn't know what to expect, really.
Yeah.
Gave it a listen. We're just like,
Yeah, not a fan.
No.
But apparently the big problem, as always, was me.
Right.
The email is, I don't expect everyone to love everything, and you are entitled to your opinions, but when you compare Doug to lung cancer, that is rough.
So basically, do you recall what the comment was that you made?
I don't. I really don't. But I know I do the lung cancer thing often, so I'm not going to deny that I said that. I'm sure I probably did. But, whatever. It's our review. It's our, and as I told our publicist friend, who I hope is still our publicist friend, the reviews are for us. The interviews are for them. And we're definitely willing to still interview the band. We're still willing to interview Doug. And if Doug has a problem with me or you or both or whatever, we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
We will absolutely. He can come on and say, you know what, you guys are dicks.
Yeah.
Okay. We can accept that. We know it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine. So needless to say, once again, what does this happen? About every 3 months we get one of these, don't we?
Sure. But this one here, this one entertained your whole afternoon, though.
It really did, because we went back and forth for a while.
But anyway, so we got in trouble with the publicist, and also this might have jeopardized future interviews with other people that this publicist represents, right?
Yeah, not so sure on Jakey Lee. I'm not so sure on Steel Panther. Right. I'm not so sure on Winger.
Oh, Steel Panther is somebody I could get.
Yeah, I mean, that's... You and I talked about this week, dude, and really what it comes down to is we don't care.
Right.
We're not an interview-driven show anymore.
Right.
We're just not.
Sure.
I mean, we do them because we want to promote the scene, and because it does seem like it does bring some attention to the show. Because Blabbermouth and whatever carries it, but ultimately, whatever. We don't care.
Right.
I've told you 100 times, I don't care if we ever do another interview.
Sure.
I really don't.
Well, the other thing is, too, is why does it matter what we say?
Well, who knows?
I mean, really, why does it matter what we say? Who are we?
Because I think ultimately the way it works is that the publicist probably tells the band, hey, I'm going to get you X amount of exposure. We're going to get you in fucking the LA Times. We're going to get you on this radio program, that radio program, whatever. And I think when it comes to internet radio, we're probably highly considered.
Okay.
And then when they do, and then we bash them, then the bands always reach back at the publicist. They're like, what the fuck, dude? You gave these guys our music, and and this is how they treated us.
So are we considered important now?
I don't know. I mean, I've never asked anybody that, but I certainly know for a fact that most of the publicist people out there are very well aware of the fact that the major news sites pick up damn near every interview we do.
Sure.
And I think because of that, they understand that they'll get coverage for their shit.
Right.
And I guess that's a good thing. I mean that's cool. I'm okay with that. I think you're okay with that, but we're not going to we've said from day one we were not going to ever cave.
Look at Jackal, the publicist is probably fair. Fuck him.
I mean, you don't think I'm wrong, do you? I mean, we're not going to change what we do just because the show's exposure has gotten bigger.
Sure.
We're just not doing it. I mean, the reason the show got bigger, see, this is always that thing that we always, I don't know if it's me and you, but I know it's me. One of the things that I always complain about with like Howard Stern, the guy got fucking big and then he changed.
Right.
And he forgot why he got big.
Yeah.
And there's no way in fuck am I going to ever, at least my part of the show, will never be influenced by what made us work.
Right.
We'll never all of a sudden be, all right, well, now we're doing this and that, and we're fucking better than this, so we get to fucking get these bigger, I don't want to be Eddie Trunk.
No. Like
Eddie, have no problem with Eddie personally, but when I see him out there posting shit like he's like the fucking cog in the Kiss wheel, as I don't know if you've seen any of his posts this week.
Not this week, no.
He's like, he posted, I guess the way his syndication deal works is that he does his show on whatever station in New York.
Yeah, that Q104.
Yeah, and then the next week, the syndicated shows get it a week late. Like, he has an exclusive thing for a week with Q104.
Okay.
So he posted yesterday or today, one of the days, my interview that caused all the Kiss controversy about Ace and Peter will be syndicated this week after we exposed it live last week. I was like, you fucking arrogant ass. Guess what, dude? It's really not about the Eddie Trunk show.
Right.
It just is. They just happened to say it on the Eddie Trunk show.
Sure.
The problem is between Ace and Peter and Gene and Paul,
right.
Not Eddie Trunk.
Right.
And he's so fucking... And he wasn't always like that. He was not like that before. You know when he got like that? When he had that big Axl Rose exclusive interview.
Yeah, exactly.
And from that point on, everything is fucking me, I. And I know we do that as a goof.
Sure.
But there's so much fucking truth to that now, man. He completely changed what he is. And you've seen it, face to face.
Yeah.
He thinks he's more important than he is.
You're absolutely right.
And I look at that with absolute disgust, and I don't want to be that. I do not want to do that with this show, ever. Ever.
It's been 5 seconds. Time for Eddie Trunk to praise himself while sucking up two artists that have to be drunk to put up with his shit.
Then I started pitching this idea, and I realized that they wanted something that was... They didn't want straight music interviews anymore. They didn't want straight hosting of video hours anymore. But they wanted something, but they wanted it to be a little bit leftist.
All right.
It is what it is, man. And I mean, we have been, and this is nothing new. We've been having these fucking Publicist hits for what, 8-10 years,
right?
All the way back to Doro. The Doro Hitler clips.
Sure.
That got us in trouble. We were in trouble with Iced Earth. We were in trouble with Jack Frost. We were in. I mean, it's an endless number of bands, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
we got in trouble with Jan Keeneman, rest her soul.
Yeah, Jan Keeneman, now dead.
Yeah.
Janet Gardner recently.
Yeah.
For a clip that was 6 years old or whatever, 8 years old.
Sure.
It never does seem to end, so I guess I should be used to it, although I just never am. I'm always surprised that somebody would hear something on our show and be surprised.
Right.
It's just crazy. But such is our life, right?
Yeah. But you know what? The only reason, I shouldn't say the only reason, but one of the biggest factors that the reason we do or can do what we do is because there's no corporate sponsorship.
If there was corporate sponsorship for this show, there's no doubt we'd be done.
Yeah.
We would be done by now.
Money changes everything.
Yeah. I mean, look, when I did much tamer than what we do here on commercial radio, we ended up fired twice. When I was doing the metal show,
right?
2 times we got fired because God forbid, I fucking shook the tree.
Right.
What a bad guy I am.
Well, I was going through that whole scenario with somebody who was asking about it this week about the show and how come you don't have commercials and how come, do you have any corporate sponsorship? And I had to go through the whole scenario that if there was money involved, then as soon as there's money involved, your sponsor feels that they have the right to dictate to you what the content of your show should be and what you can say and what you can't say, and all these other things. And both you and I have agreed that we don't care.
We could have corporate sponsorship, it'd be easy.
Yeah, but we don't.
And I mean, I've actually been kicking around the idea of selling, commercial spots on the podcast.
Okay.
Letting people record a 60-second commercial and dump it up on the front or the back of the podcast.
Sure.
Because it really doesn't affect the show any. And we could make, we would probably make a little bit of money. I would think, enough money to pay your electric bill or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like we're going to get rich off it or anything, but we could definitely fucking pay the legitimate bills of the show.
Right.
By doing it. And, I just, the thought of somebody trying to say, well, and I know how it would be too. And that's why I've really hesitated doing it. Cause it'll start off with one of those things like, okay, well, we're doing this commercial. Could you not put it on any podcast where you guys do this?
Yeah.
And then it'll be, well, it would be really helpful if you didn't do that.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, I just don't want to do that.
We heard that you said this last week, and that really doesn't, jive with, our image. And, it's like, well, we're not doing the show for you.
Yeah. We don't give a fuck about you, really.
Right.
And if you're paying money to be on this, to have us to be a sponsor or whatever, or to put a commercial on the show, you're paying to be on what we do.
Right.
Not what you want.
Sure.
We don't give a fuck really about promoting your business.
Right.
And that's just, and I love when that was always, and you remember this from my MMS, especially MMS days. I was always in trouble for calling out the sponsors.
Right.
Always was in trouble, because that's like radio rule number 1. You don't fucking, if you don't like something the sponsor does, you just pretend they don't exist.
Sure.
And I never would honor that. I always was like, if a fucking club owner, just because they advertised on the metal show, if they were dicks, I called them dicks. And I didn't give a fuck about their money, because really the fact that they're promoting a fucking In Flames show, that we're playing In Flames on our show, that really doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Where do I make any more money from that? I don't, so I don't give a fuck.
Well, it's about the station, man.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't, because guess what? When I was fucking on MMS, we were sold out every goddamn week for 9 years, and I didn't see any raises.
Right.
They weren't giving me a fucking percentage. I still was making my same $100 a week or whatever the fuck it was.
Sure.
I mean, it didn't matter. They were making $30,000 a week from the show. They still paid me shit. So
Right.
I really didn't care. And even if truthfully, if they gave me 15,000 of it, I still wouldn't have fucking cared.
Yeah.
Because the people the reason that they could charge that money was not because of the sponsors.
Right.
It was because they wanted to hear what Matt and I were saying.
Sure.
And it's the same thing with this show.
Yeah.
If we were running, if instead of playing 3 tunes in between segments, we were running a commercial and 2 tunes, nobody's listening to the show to hear those fucking commercials.
Nope.
Nobody. What is everybody going to do when you play the commercial?
They're going to go get a drink or hit the boys' room or whatever, and then they're going to come back.
And nobody's going to come out of the fucking, we're not going to come out of a segment and people are going to go, dude, was that really a commercial for fucking, whatever, Blaupunk stereos?
Sure.
Wow, man, I've got a Blaupunk in my car. Nobody's going to do that.
Right.
It's going to be, it's going to be a forgotten thing.
Right.
When's the last time you watched some TV today? Just regular old TV or no?
No, I just watched a little Netflix today.
Listen to radio today or at any time this week?
No.
Not.
I don't listen to commercial radio.
This is such a bad. I was going to say, what was the last commercial you heard? You don't remember?
No, I don't listen to commercial radio.
Yeah. But I mean, just in general, even the people that do, if you listen to fucking Rush Limbaugh on the radio, nobody remembers the commercials. No one. And nobody cares. That's the kind of the point,
Yep.
So, whatever, publicists, back to the publicists. The publicists are mad. Okay. If we were asked now at this point not to play anymore on KXM.
All right. Don't even play any of their music when we're allowed to.
Yeah. Well, we were asked, at least for right now, to leave it be.
Right.
It's okay. We'll leave it be.
Okay. All right. Don't play anymore.
Okay. Got it.
You don't deserve to play any.
Yeah. And whatever. If that costs us Winger or Jake or whoever, okay. Fine.
So funny.
I know.
All right. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to get a drink.
All right, let's play some commercials. And
yeah. And then we'll come back and we can do the top 5 worst albums.
You know what? I have one that I would like to do before we do the top.
Okay, we can do that. Whatever. What do you want to do?
Since we're talking about getting in trouble and our reviews and whatever.
Sure.
We missed it last week, but I honestly have not really reviewed the music, but I want to do that band that wants us to review.
Yeah. We can do that.
I think that plays right into what we're talking about.
Sure. Because I didn't listen to it, so I have no idea what we're going to play.
And I honestly listened to less than 20 seconds.
Okay.
I listened only to make sure that it was, not like pop or whatever.
Sure.
So I really don't have an opinion either.
Right.
So we'll give them a try.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
This won't affect you. We got a email. Remember E and Chris from Detroit?
Yeah.
They're going to be in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
And invited us out for a drink.
Really? Are you going to go?
Well, let's see. I got to see what the date is here. Let's see, 10, possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, dude, you should go.
Because March, let's see, because I've got to be out of town, so I'm not really sure if I'll be back by then.
When are you out of town?
During the week of the 12th, 13th, 12th, 14th, 15th, somewhere around there.
Are you going to be back for the show? Or
yeah. I'll be back for the show.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, they said, hey, we're going to be in Chicago. Why don't you come out and meet us for a drink?
That's the writer guy, right?
Yeah, the guy and gal who rode their motorcycle down to the Classic Metal Show night out.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's cool, dude. Yeah, you should definitely go and do that.
Yeah. So
I think you should podcast from the bar.
That'd be fun, huh?
You should throw your iPhone down.
Right.
Why not?
I can do that.
I don't know. I'm curious, and we don't have to take calls or anything on this. People can throw it in the chat room or hit us on the Facebook. I'm curious if people do like the kind of
impromptu
random podcast, like I did with the wrestling show, or like we did at the Dockin show last year.
Well, the Dockin podcast actually made news.
Well, I know the one with Dockin did. I'm talking about all the other ones when we were in, the hotel rooms, or me and you were fucking sitting backstage just bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if people like those or not, because I personally love those.
Sure.
I like those better than the actual show segments, to be honest.
Right.
They're fun and they're silly and they're impromptu. But, I'm curious if people like those. But I definitely think you should do one like that. Just throw your phone down, throw the Spreaker on and go.
Right.
That'd be fun.
Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter-century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com
and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?